Emotions, emotions, emotions. Have you ever found yourself saying stuff like, my emotions get the best of me, my emotions are all over the place, I don't like to feel my emotions? Because I'll be honest, I've been there, I'm still there, I still find myself saying this stuff all the time. And I know we probably know a lot of people that feel that way, but did you ever ask yourself why? Why do we feel this way about emotions, and what really are emotions? I think we feel this way about emotions because we don't really understand emotions. So here I am today to break down emotions to my understanding and share my experience on how I deal with them and navigate them to have a better relationship with them and not to feel limited by my emotions. So here we go. Sorry guys, I'm like in my casual home clothing. Side note, I love making videos and stuff, but I don't like this feeling that comes with, oh, you always have to dress really nice to make a video, or you have to like look good all the time and look put together all the time, because honestly sometimes in the spur of the moment I just feel like talking, and well, you're gonna get that. So this is that. Okay, great. So I feel like I'm hunched over a lot. I'm gonna get a pillow. I should have a cup of job or something. So my journey with emotions, I have grown up feeling very emotional and very sentimental. The world will try to make you feel like that as a woman, it's a bad thing to be emotional. There's a ladybug in my room. Okay, great. Don't freak out. Okay, I can't see it anymore. Anyways, so I was kind of like always ridiculed for my emotions, and I know it's not just women who deal with this, men deal with it all the time as well. Everyone deals with it, right? And it's because people don't know how to deal with their emotions. So I always lived in this world feeling very senti and very real and deep and emotional and sentimental, like it was a bad thing, and it always felt like it was a hindrance to me. But now I'm realizing that because I can feel these emotions and I can talk about them in a certain way, it's actually my superpower. It helps me connect deeper with myself, and it helps me get to know other people better as well. And I love that. I love connecting with people on all kinds of different levels, so I love being able to understand them as well. Then I came across this book. It talked about how emotions are your guidance system. So you feel something for a reason. So all the times that I felt, it's coming back down. It's coming back down. What are you doing? So all the times that I felt like my emotions were not real or they were irrational or anything like that, I failed to recognize that that was my body, my brain, me, my internal telling me something, that something was up, right? And I think that's where we can change our relationship with emotions. Instead of looking at emotions as a hindrance, as, oh my God, this is so much work, this is so this, and we start looking at it as our guidance system, as, okay, what is this emotion trying to tell me, as your friend rather than your enemy, I think that'll be a game changer for a lot of people. Because it was definitely a game changer for me, right? So now when I feel a certain emotion, I'm like, oh, okay, like what is this telling me? I'm not saying I do this all day, every day, because I know that can get exhausting, but what I'm saying is when it comes to difficult situations, when it comes to situations where emotions feel overwhelming, changing the way you're looking at your emotions can help you. There's this whole idea of being detached and unemotional and disconnected in today's society is just crazy to me, because we are actually disconnecting from one another, and humans, we need love, we need connection, we need that. So there's nothing wrong with having emotions. There's nothing wrong with feeling your emotions or acknowledging or processing your emotions at all. They might actually be your gift, and like I said, they are your guidance system. They help you figure out what is happening here so you can be at peace with what's happening here. So for example, just yesterday, I got triggered by something and I got really furious, and I don't get angry that often. So I was furious, okay? And I wanted to make an impulse decision. I wanted to impulsively call the person and text them, but I was like, no, we're not doing that because your emotions are really high, so now is not a good time to be talking to the person you feel these emotions about, right? Because you're going to speak in the heat of the moment, and that isn't okay, because you might say something you don't mean. So let's rewind. Let's figure this out. And I took a shower. Actually, before that, I tried calling a bunch of my friends and nobody was available. And a couple of years ago, that would have made me feel really sad because it would have felt like I have nobody and that I'm alone. But now I take that as a sign of, okay, I can deal with this alone. And when I need somebody, they will show up. They will show up when I actually need someone. So I took a shower. And in the shower, I was breaking it down. I'm like, okay, why am I angry? I'm angry because of this reason. How does this make me feel? This makes me feel like this. What are you really upset about? The conclusion was I felt disrespected and I felt like I wasn't being taken seriously. And then I remembered that everything is a projection or a reflection. So I was like asking myself, am I taking myself seriously enough? And that was my realization. So now it doesn't become about the person, it becomes about the situation. That whole process of checking my emotions and trying to understand what was really happening helped me calm down to the point where I actually had a good night. A couple years ago, that would have resulted in a panic attack, and I would have cried and vomited and fell asleep and woke up with really, really puffy eyes. So that's a win for me. Round of applause for me, okay? So that is the perfect example of breaking down what emotions are, all right? So let's do that. So emotions are really just energy in motion. Emotion. Energy in motion, which means that the emotion will pass, yeah? So if you feel an emotion and you don't allow, or if you feel an emotion come up and you don't allow yourself to fully feel it and then you suppress it or you deny it or you ignore it, the energy is getting stuck somewhere. You're not fully allowing it to flow through you, right? Like life happens in ups and downs. It happens in waves, right? So, cool. Same thing with emotions. So when you allow the emotion to come through, you allow yourself to fully feel it and process it, it will eventually pass. The physiological lifespan of an emotion is 90 seconds. Okay, so really you'll feel something for 90 seconds, and in theory, you should be able to not feel it anymore. So why do we feel like our emotions get the best of us or our emotions take over? It's because we keep telling ourselves the story attached to the emotion. So we get stuck because now we have identified ourselves with the emotion. I am anxious. I am sad. I am whatever it is that you're telling yourself. Because of that and our past experiences, we are now kind of addicted to the neurological response of telling ourselves this story with this emotion. So just to recap, emotions are energy in motion. Energy needs to flow. Energy cannot be created or destroyed. That is law. So it needs to be transferred into something. These emotions come with narratives that we have in our head. We are addicted to these stories. We are addicted to the way these stories make us feel. And that is a cycle that we have to break. Okay, we have to really ask ourselves, what am I telling myself here? Is this a true story that I'm telling myself, or is this a projection? Do I feel good telling this story? Why is it so hard for me to change the story? And what is the real cause of this story? Like, what is the origin story of this story? Where is the story coming from, right? And it seems like a lot of work. I'm not gonna lie to you, it's not always pretty. We come face to face with this side of ourselves, this darker part of ourselves, our shadow self that we have to look at. We have to look at in order to send some loving that way, to send some love to that side, so that we can stay in control of ourselves or mindful of ourselves and gentle with ourselves while we navigate this thing called life. So there's really no point in getting upset when you're angry or sad or irritated or jealous or heartbroken, right? Like, I know we get angry with ourselves, like, oh, why am I feeling this? I don't want to feel this right now. But there's really no point because the emotion is there. So it's already there. You may as well accept it and acknowledge it sit with it, it's going to be really uncomfortable because sometimes you have to sit with it for days or weeks and let it pass through rather than pretending like it's not there. That hurts more than to feel it. So just pick your heart. Sorry guys, my camera like overheated or something. So here's my process of dealing with emotions. You guys ready? Oh my god, I'm a mess. Okay, when I'm feeling really, really extreme emotions, I accept it. Okay, I'm like, okay, I'm feeling this way. I just allow myself to feel that way and I hold space for myself to feel that way. Then you acknowledge why it's there if there's a deeper reason, and there usually is. It almost always is that deep. Then I just observe the emotion. How does it really feel? And where do I feel it in my body? Because that is important as well. And then I observe the narrative that I'm telling myself. Then I ask myself, is this narrative even true, or is this something that I'm just making up in my head? Most of the time you're making it up in your head. Then I ask myself, how can I move through this? How can I release this? How can I let the energy pass through? Or if I'm not feeling that, then I just sit with it and I let it pass. So I'll put on a funny movie, I'll sit with my family, call up a friend, I might vent it out to a friend and then just sit with it. And then I decide that I'm not going to let this emotion control the rest of my day, my morning, my afternoon, my nights, my life. And this teaches me that I can be in control of my emotions, that I can be an observer of my emotions, and that emotions can be useful to me to help me understand and come back to this neutral baseline where I don't feel anything too extreme. Because I like to live life, I try to live life neutrally. I don't want to get too excited or too sad or too anything. I just want to be at peace. And that is it. Then the emotion eventually passes. Sometimes along the way, I am even able to change the story that I'm telling myself. So now I'm healing on a whole different other level. And the next time that emotion comes up, I now know, oh, this is just a story that I'm telling myself. This is not actually real. I'm just making it up in my brain because of my past conditioning, because of my past experiences, and that's okay, but we're not going to feed into it now. So it eventually just becomes like quicker, second nature. You can do it in a second like I just did in the shower. And it's not always going to be like a lot of work. It might be a lot of work initially, and I'm not saying it's going to be pretty, but it's worth doing it. It's worth just coming into this peaceful space with your emotions, not hating them, not neglecting them or avoiding them, because they're really helpful. And that's coming from someone who's like felt like I was too emotional too much all my life. I still feel that way sometimes, but we're working through it, and that's all we can really do. I'm not making this video because I feel like I'm on the other side. I'm making this video because I'm in the trenches too. I'm trying to figure this out too. And I know someone probably needs this information because everyone is starting somewhere, right? So I hope this helps you guys. I do one-on-one sessions, so you can go to my website, linked below, and book a one-on-one session so we can talk about this deeper or anything else. In the one-on-one sessions, it's you and me, okay? It's a safe space, and I'm basically like your accountability partner, and we help you come up with actionable steps that you can take once you develop clarity on what it is that you are trying to do in life. I can help you with that because I have done that for myself many, many times over and over again. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it was helpful. Let me know what you guys think below. And if there's any other videos you'd like for me to make, let me know as well. Other than that, I will talk to you guys soon. Peace.